Question 3, I am retiring this year and have company stock in my 401k. Under the NUA rules, can you roll only the stock into a IRA account, then use NUA? A good question. I'm not sure I fully understand the question here, but I believe what they're asking is, can you keep your stock shares when you move them out of the 401k? And the answer is yes. In fact, like I mentioned earlier, most of our clients, or at least me with my clients, I recommend waiting until those shares get to Schwab so that we can put a game plan together once their shares have moved into, usually some of them to an IRA, the high cost shares. The low cost shares going to a brokerage account or a non-qualified investment account. And then from there, we'll decide how many shares do we want to sell, if any, what price are we comfortable with. Maybe we'll put a limit order. Say that, maybe my client likes $120 a share. They think that's a reasonable share price to sell a quarter of their shares, just for example, to get them down to a more reasonable long-term allocation so that we don't have too much money in any given stock, including ExxonMobil. Well, we'll put a limit order at 120. If and when the stock hits $120 a share, it'll sell those shares. Versus when those shares are at Voya, you can't get the price the day that you call to sell the shares. Oftentimes it's the next day's price. Sometimes it's 2 or 3 days later that those shares will be sold. So you're kind of going in with some mystery price. And if the stock declines during that time, fortunately, you're going to be stuck with a price that's a lot lower than what you expected. So based on this question, yes, you can move your shares out of the plan, but you have to do a total distribution when you utilize this NUA strategy. You have to fully have distributed that 401k plan by the end of the year. So what most people do is they just clear the account out in the same transaction, all in the same phone call, where Voya will send your non-qualified, your NUA shares to ComputerShare. Then they go to the custodian, Schwab in our case, but it could be any custodian. After they reach ComputerShare, they keep the cost basis so you know what you have to pay capital gains on in the future whenever you sell those shares in the future, but you don't have to sell them immediately, and most people don't anyway, just so they can be more strategic on how they sell the shares after they leave the 401k and once they get to the custodian that individual chose to work with in retirement.